You're saying there's no systemic racism. It is ended. It has been depleted. It is gone. It's been exiled, blotted out. You know what I'm saying? But now there's a system holding you back, right? I'm excited to say I partnered up with Ground News, but more on them at the end of the video. Mr. Larry Elder just can't let it go, okay? We all can agree that he, at the end of the Breakfast Club interview that he had a couple of weeks, I think he got pretty much bodied throughout the entire interview until the end of the last 5-10 minutes where Mr. Charlamagne the God said, hey, you're gonna have your N-word wake up moment. And then, you know, he brought up Joe Biden saying, hey, if you're not voting for me, you ain't black. Yeah, Charlamagne probably shouldn't have said that. It wasn't Charlamagne's best moment. I can admit that. But then when Mr. Larry Elder didn't make it to the debate for the Republicans, all of a sudden he wants to cry, hey, there's a system out there that's holding me back, that, you know, was, you know, designed to keep folks like me from not progressing, you know, in this presidential campaign. Now, you know, he didn't say it was because he was black. He said, you know, just, you know, the rich folks kind of playing not fair. And he's on Valuetainment, kind of like, you know, in his feelings, trying to take more shots at Charlamagne the God. And once again, it's like, we can't understand what your point is. You know what I'm saying? It just gets real awkward when you only have one talking point. You have nothing else to talk about except for that one thing. Okay? But let's go ahead, watch this interview, and let's have that conversation.
Your friend, your good buddy, your compadre, Charlamagne the God.
Yes.
We mentioned him a little bit earlier.
Yes.
You were on his show, The Breakfast Club, massive audience, you know, massive black audience. Breaking news, I just found out you're black. That's crazy. I just found that out. Yeah.
Wait, what?
This just happened. Amazing.
Okay.
Respect.
That was kind of weird.
But you were on about 2 weeks ago, and then he did a reaction video, and he so politely called you the donkey of the day.
Yeah,
and he went ham on you, brother.
I saw that.
So, you know, he's got a huge voice in the black community, obviously. What do you say to him? What do you say to the black community that they think you're the donkey when you're just like, look, personal power, personal self-improvement, accountability.
Well, he called me the donkey of the day, as I recall, because I didn't make the debate stage, and I complained about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was on his show saying that there's no systemic racism in America, and here Larry is complaining about the systemic way he did not make the debate stage.
Yeah.
That's what he said. To me, that made no sense. And frankly, I believe he called me the donkey of the day because if you look at the comments.
Okay. Whoa. Slow down. I wish one of them suits and ties would be like, hey, Larry, you're kind of skipping over why he called you a donkey. Don't do that. You like address what you're trying to, what he pointed out. You're saying there's no systemic racism. It is ended. It has been depleted. It is gone. It's been exiled, blotted out. You know what I'm saying? But now there's a system holding you back, right? But it can't be no system holding others back. But no, for you, it's you see how that's weird, how you're kind of cherry picking, you know, for your benefit. It's just a little weird. And your brother Tim Scott, he's in the same boat. Hey, go ahead and look him up. He in the same boat. So it's just weird how you want to pick and choose when it's more convenient for you. I don't know, but of course, he's not gonna try to dissect that, kind of break that down into further detail for us. No, he's going to kind of skim over that because that'd be too much for him.
And I have a friend who read every single one of them, and these are his people. 85% of them thought he got his butt kicked.
Yep.
Yeah. So would you go back again?
Oh, absolutely. In fact,
Okay. Now, once again, he's trying to say he got ratioed in his own comments. First off, you can't prove if that's his people. I don't even know what that means. His people, you mean his subscribers? Can you prove that it's all his subscribers? Because I've been doing this for a year, and when I make a video of Ben Shapiro or Michael Knowles or Matt Walsh, by the grace of YouTube, they give me all their audience. And then now their audience is in my comment section acting a fool. So comments don't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's supposed to be a controversial video. So I'm going to have a lot of different opinions in the comments. So I don't even know what that means. Like, it's his people saying that he got his butt kicked. Don't really buy that, but okay.
I'm tentatively scheduled to go back.
How do you win over not only Charlamagne, but the people who think like Charlamagne? Because there's millions of them.
Tell the truth.
Okay.
Tell the truth.
But they say you can't handle the truth.
I've been doing this for 40 years, what you guys are doing, been for 40 years. And I've noticed something. When somebody calls up, and I always took pride in taking people who disagreed with me, no one in the middle of a conversation is going to go, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
I've had an epiphany. It's the person who's driving, who's listening, that I'm talking to. And so I know that Charlamagne the God is not going to go, Larry, I never thought about this. You're right. There is no systemic racism. I need to rethink my assumptions. He's not going to do that. But his listeners will. And if you look at the comments, many of them have. Not saying they suddenly become card-carrying, Trump-supporting Republicans, but they're beginning to rethink their assumptions. They know fatherlessness is a bigger problem than systemic racism. They see the schools. They see the crime.
Wow. Okay. Now, one thing that I don't think he's not understanding here. No Black American who is being honest with having this conversation is saying that fatherless homes is not an issue. Now we can go down the charts, down the colorful rainbow, and I'm pretty sure we could point out numbers for all kind of cultures. But let's just stick to Black folks because that's the conversation at hand. No one in their right mind is saying that it's not an issue. Okay, you won that. Go ahead, point out something obvious. Okay, got you. Do you want a certificate or something? Okay. But the problem is, why can't one be true without the other? I mean, because we could pull up statistics after data, after numbers of what contributes to some of these fathers not being in the home. And I mean, if you really want to get into it, we can kind of see some systems in place purposely by the government that was put in place to forcefully take the fathers out the home. I'm not talking about the welfare program. No, get that out of here. I'm talking about mass incarceration. If you don't know what that is, don't go in my comments acting like you know what that is. Go ahead and look that up. Look at the numbers and then come back to me. So I don't understand why he's making it seem like nobody in the Black community understand what he's talking about. It's just, why can't one exist with the other? I don't.
You want one quick story?
Go for it.
When I was in high school, there was a guy named Gilbert, and he was a iffy kind of student. He wasn't a bad student, but he wasn't somebody that was academically oriented as I was. I told you my dad used to have a cafe, and I didn't like working for him. So when my dad and I stopped talking to each other at 15 years old, I decided to get me a job in the summer with the county, LA County. You had to go downtown and take this big test. There must have been 300 or 400 people. This is in the late 60s. Most of the people there were white. And one of the guys taking the test was this guy named Gilbert from my high school.
Gilbert.
And I saw him, and it was a 3-hour exam, math, reading comprehension, stuff like that. And then you had to go out in the hall, and then they grade the paper. You come back in. So I see Gilbert. He goes, "Hey, Larry, what's up?" I said, "What's going on, Gilbert?" He said, "Watch out. They're going to get us." I said, "Who's going to get us?" He said, "The white people who are grading these exams."
Yeah.
I said, they're going to get us? He said, watch them flunk us. So we go back in, about 300 people, as I said. They call out your name if you are to remain, meaning you pass the test. And then they would give you a bunch of options for jobs. And if you didn't get your name called, you had to leave. So I'm sitting there calling off the names. Of course, my name was called, as were the names of a number of black people. And then you hear a screeching of chairs as the people who weren't called get up to leave. So Gilbert walks right by me and he says,
Gilbert.
He sees me sitting there. Obviously, my name was one of those who was called, who was named. He said, "What did I tell you?" How can somebody make an argument that white people are going to flunk black people? I'm black. I'm sitting there. I'm not flunked. And he walks by me and he says, "What did I tell you?" This is the mentality. This is this is an illness.
Okay.
And a lot of black people have that. We have to raise our game. I remember the dream team in the Olympics, because we began losing matches. We can't send college kids anymore and expect to win.
92.
So the dream team crushes everybody. Well, now we still send the best. We don't crush people anymore. It's competitive now because the rest of the world raised their game. They didn't lower the hoop. They didn't widen the hoop. We need to raise our game as black people. If you look at a graph of how much homework a black kid does every night versus a white kid versus an Asian kid, it's like this. If you don't put in the time, you're not going to get the results. We have to stop bitching and moaning and whining about systemic racism and raise our effing game. That's what I'm all about.
So if you like this clip...
Wow. Ooh. Hey, he said it. Ooh, he said, step your game up, right? All right, so let's go to our conclusion here. So, it reminds me of that slave mentality, okay? And of course, this is just what I've read. Obviously, I wasn't in slavery, but this is pretty well documented, okay? They used to have the light-skinned black folks. You know, they were still enslaved. You know, they weren't free. They used to be the house Negroes. But then, you know, since, you know, the darker... The stronger ones were outside working, sweating, you know what I'm saying, picking that cotton. Larry reminds me of the house Negro. Like, hey, this isn't that bad. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good. Like, hey, I don't know why you out there tripping, why you out there moaning and complaining. I'm chilling. Hey, let's not point out, you know, my complaints about this system that's holding me back. But I mean, I'm chilling for the most part. I don't understand why black folks want to point out a few black faces in high places and be like, hey, we done all made it. Oh, hey, systematic racism can't exist because look at Obama. The one black person I'm pretty sure a lot of white people only know is Obama. Maybe Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart, you know what I'm saying? 3 black folks, Oprah. Okay, there you go, 4. LeBron James, 5. That's probably all you know. But hey, we got 5 black folks who's in some high places. Racism can't be real. This is my example. We know child hunger is an issue here in America. Just because my kids are eating good, they eat 3-4 meals a day with dessert and some snacks throughout the day. Every single day, my wife is cooking up amazing meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a cake every single night. Does that mean that the statistics for kids who are not eating is false? Does that make those statistics not real? No. It just means that my kids are eating. But then there's other people who are actually struggling out there. Do you see what I'm saying? So I hate when people take their own situation, their own life, and be like, hey, I'm doing good. So like, it can't be other black people out there struggling. And when I say struggling, I'm talking about the reason why black communities today, most of them, I can't speak for all of them, but most of them, statistically speaking, you can look at the numbers. It's been systematically destroyed and abandoned. Redlining, segregation, mass incarceration, terrorism, all these things has been happening throughout Black history, and nothing has been done to resolve it. That is the issue. So he points out, you can look at the numbers and, Black students compared to other races when it comes to studying homework or doing homework at night is like, well, one, if they're not eating, they ain't worried about no homework. If their parents are constantly in it out the home, guess what? They don't have anyone residing over them and saying, hey, maybe you should be doing your homework. If they're out there trying to get some money, or hey, we all know the stories. Doing homework is the last thing on their mind, and that is proven. So once again, Larry Elder, I need you to listen. If you watching this video, thank God you clicked on it. Black folks understand fatherless homes is an issue. And from what I gather, it's gotten better than, the 60s, 70s, 80s, yada, yada, yada. But one can exist with the other. Now, of course, I've done plenty of videos going into more depth, so I don't want to sit here and regurgitate all those numbers, if you want to listen to it, go ahead and find the videos yourself. But once again, I don't understand why he wants to point out that there's a system messing up his vision, his goals, his dreams, but there's nothing messing up other people's situations, opportunities. Just sounds a little weird to me. But if you think I'm wrong, if you think that, I'm just one of those, brainwashed Black folks who just, think the man is just out to get them, and, I'm just playing the victim, and it's just, a figment of my imagination, I guess. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. And like always, let's have that conversation. It is important that the news that you consume is transparent and allows you to critical think and see from multiple perspectives. So I bring to you Ground News. This platform is like any news site I've seen because it shows you how breaking news is being covered across the political spectrum. And it's a data-driven tool that helps readers like you and me spot media bias through analysis and direct comparison. A news platform designed to empower the readers to compare multiple perspectives to see what details are emphasized, exaggerated, or even left out. Ground News is a website and an app that gathers news from 50,000 sources around the world and puts related articles in one place so you can easily compare coverage. So if you guys are ready to upgrade the way that you consume news and get more grounded into truth, go ahead and use the special link down below if you want to upgrade your news and support the YouTube channel at the same time. Once again, that's Ground News.